to the next program, which is the invited contributions from other Horizon 2020 projects, and also with a panel discussion. And actually, it's going to be challenging because I'm going to hand over also the chairing of this to Dennis Cherik. Dennis, are you aligned? I don't see Dennis at this stage.
Yes, I'm here.
Here is Dennis. Okay, Dennis, please, you can take over. And just for the introduction to everybody, Dennis is the Department of Urban Population Studies and the Institute of Geography and Spatial Organization at the Polish Academy of Science. Dennis, please, it's up to you now, this session. Thank you.
Well, it's a great pleasure to have representatives, actually, of 3 Horizon 2020 projects on circular economy here with us in this session. Actually, the idea of this session is to present the key results from other Horizon 2020 projects who actually for the future of the circular economy. So we have representatives of 3 projects we can say we have collaborated the most, and we'd like them to present their results concerning the future of circular economy. So we have representative of Urban Winds project, Force, and Cinderella. So in that order, they will give their presentations. Altogether, those 3 projects are representing 62 partners. So a large actually thing. So let me first start with Professor Francesco Musco, which is from the University of Venice and representing the project. The full name of the project is Innovative Strategy Plans for Urban Waste Reduction and Management. So, dear Francesco, the floor is yours now.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the invitation. I would like to summarize in a few minutes the activities of Urban Winds. That is one of the twins projects that work in parallel to REPAiR. And also in this case has been a very quite big initiatives because involved 27 partners, has been coordinated by the city of Cremona, that is a medium-sized local authority in the northern part of Italy. So there is a project that tries to exchange a lot of activities between a research center and cities and local authorities, but also including NGO and public bodies in charge of waste management and management of energy and influx of materials within the urban areas. We can continue with the slides. The project has been supported by, also in this case, by European Commission. Next slide, please. And also the next one. And is a project that in particular try to focusing on the aspect of, next slide, please. I cannot, thanks a lot, thanks. The aspect of urban metabolism framework in particular, and try to combine together aspect of production, consumption, resources, and waste production and waste reduction in particular. The idea is that the project tried to design specific strategic plans and action plans to waste management and waste prevention in particular. The next one, please. In particular, operating accordingly free approach applied to the cities. The definition of a strategic planning framework is a sort of feasible and flexible instrument to try to orient in the long term the priorities and the objective in the different cities related to waste management and urban metabolism in general. A local strategic action plan that try to detail in particular the priorities of each cities and how to proceed, including concrete and operative action to describe and to reduce the production of waste. And then the city roadmap. The city roadmap is another tool that has been produced in the different cities involving the project to try to set up strategic elements and indication for future city development, accordingly the idea of a general framework that has been indicated as in the urban metabolism. Next slide, please. In particular, looking at the strategic planning framework has been designed in particular a wide range of information, a data set, both in terms of quantitative and qualitative information, especially regarding waste management. One of the most difficult part of the work was trying to downscale the information that are already present in the international and European database and try to understand how this information can be useful also for spatial and urban planning and how to integrate the different level of spatial planning and strategic planning in the aspect of waste management. And then the other aspect very relevant was the involving of local administration and stakeholders. Also other colleagues mentioned the fact that inside the local authorities sometimes the separation among the different sector involved and operating in the different policies is one of the weak point that has to be overcome to try to implement a strategy that have urban metabolism as one of the main core. And then also the aspect related to the definition of to support the strategic plan that I mentioned you that we were 27 partners with 8 pilot cities, but with another range of cities that in a certain way collaborated to the different activities of the project. Next slide, please. The strategic planning framework in particular has been carried out in 8 cities in particular. The idea is trying to set up the priorities and objective and then try to define a strategic setting in each cities. The idea is that the different level of intervention in each of the pilot cases try to combine from one side the strategic level of how in particular the actors are involved, the institutional actors can be in charge to implement the different action, and then at the same time how to design the specific plans for each cities and try to understand how to involve specific action to be carried out in the next phase of the project, in the next phase also of the after this project, after urban waste. Next one, please. And then the activities designing from the technical point of view try to combine the pilot cities, the technical and scientific partners. We were 3 universities involved in the process. The Chalmers University, the University of Venice with all the part dedicated to spatial planning, and the University of Lisbon also for the part dedicated to the public engagement of citizens and local citizens and local authorities in particular. The idea was that from the evidence of the scientific data emerging from the preliminary analysis made more or less in the first year of a project, if a year and a half more or less, was possible to understand how to connect with the management system of each cities the specific information. We can continue with the next slide, please. It's very relevant, the part of a participative process that supported all the activities of our projects. Supported all the activities of a project because it supported us to define the local priorities, to define and set up objective, and then also to define also the potential response that in each city could be designed and could be defined in particular. Also supported by what we called the urban agora. Urban agora were a sort of permanent activities of of meetings involving institutions, involving representative of civil society, that in each city has been organized during all the activities of the projects. And then the next slide, the next one, please. Arriving from the strategic to the local strategic action plan, the local strategic action plan trying to set up, in particularly specific indicators, and try to set up the different kind of action that could be defined at local level in each cities. Obviously, as probably happened in your project in REPAiR, operating with municipalities that stay in Spain, in Northern Europe, in Southern Europe, in Italy, or in other part, could have a possibility to obviously to compare different management system among the local authorities, but also different cultures in terms of spatial planning, in terms of resource management in the different contexts, also from the administrative point of view. Next one, please. The kind of action that has been set up of different systems, different kind, obviously, some action in terms of regulatory aspect, some action more trying to increase the awareness of institution and local community, and then also some action that were more oriented to try to set up a voluntary some action at each local level. Next one, please. And then the economic sector that has been mainly included in the different pilot project, in the different pilot case, were related with transport, with energy, to waste and emission, both in terms of production, both in terms of the tentative to reduce them. The aspect dedicated to the food and wood arriving to the urban area, in the urban areas, to support the activity, the aspect of urban metabolism, and then the industrial production, import, export, other aspect, and then also the aspect related to the population. If we can cross very quickly to the pilot cases, next one, please. Each case, more or less, if we look to Albano Laziale, that is a small municipality nearby Rome, but then we had also Bucharest, that is a big capital. So the different scale of municipalities involved in the process were fundamental to understand that also smaller municipalities or big cities can produce or can intervene in to support activities that try to regulate urban metabolism, and obviously with special attention to waste production, waste reduction in terms of circularity. And then we can continue Cremona with the next slide, please, with Cremona, Leira, Manresa, Pomezia, Sabadell, Turin, that are all municipalities or cities of very different scales in very different European contexts, that in each of these cases different sets of action has been implemented to reduce waste production, to try to regulate also the collection. We can continue with the next slide, please. Also with the next one. Trying to arrive to what we call the city roadmap, a sort of set of strategic recommendation for the enhancement and support of urban waste prevention and management and planning in the different contexts. If we look to the data results in particular, we have different information that can be very, very useful to our thinking. In particular, the kind of composition of waste that in each city has been analyzed, the kind of mineral products, the kind of the percentage of vegetable products, and also how the composition of the different waste in the different cities can be also regulated waste to be reduced. It's not just a matter to reduce in absolute the quantity, but also a way to, it's also a perspective to reduce the single components of the waste. And this requires an integrated policies at local level that in some cases have a specific reflection also on urban management and urban planning. Next slide, please. Just to have a look to the kind of the intervention recommendation that we try to set up in the last part of the project, both in terms of smart design, internal energy production, in terms of road building and landscape works. Also public works have a relevant role to improve the capacity of a system to produce less waste and to have the ability to collect more properly the waste produced inside the urban areas, in any urban areas. Also the aspect related to reuse and prevention, the circularity and how the circularity approach applied to local industries can increase also the component of waste reduction. And then also the aspect related to reuse, reducing, and then also how to recycle directly the activities. We can go quite quickly to the next one, just to have a look to the main priorities that emerge in the different case in terms of priorities of city with less waste, city reduce recycling, circular city, reduce carbon footprint, and then all the aspects dedicated to public awareness in terms of reducing. Next one, please. And then the strategic recommendation for the enhancement in general to the support of urban waste prevention that has been connected with different aspects, the same that emerge from the priorities in a certain way, both in terms of a kind of sectors of waste where it's possible more easily to intervene at local level, or the aspect that in the different contexts, obviously, if we are in Leira or in Albiano Laziale, you can see that there are very different results in terms of the intervention and the effectful that had the strategic and then the action plan. The last couple of slides, and then the aspect related to the consumption waste stock data, that is one of the other elements that emerged. It is a result, it is one of the main results of the project, that in a certain way we adjust the official European information with the local data provided by the local authorities. Next one, please. And then the last information dedicated to the priorities that emerge a lot aspect related to smart design, to next one, please. Smart design, to circular industry and use prevention. The next one, please. In general, if we can try to summary what emerged as the main results of the project, we can say that a strong awareness despite the limits in relation to the limits of resources has been understood, especially working through the urban agoras. The urban agoras that involved representative of a local institution, representative of local communities, and in a certain way represented a sort of view on the local communities and local inhabitants, and that is one of fundamental part of this project. All the aspects related to understanding better circular economy in terms especially on the spatial results of circular economy and how circular economy can change system, flux, and operative aspect within the cities. And then the result of a strategic plan, and then the aspect dedicated also to the potential future action and policies to be implemented in the cities. There is the last one in terms of innovative planning, how can I say, results, indication that emerge from a project in terms of multidisciplinary approach to the innovation, connecting together urban metabolism and circular economy, the comparison of different case studies in different European contexts, very different also from the administrative cultures, that is very relevant also in terms of sharing and exporting the results of a project. The new tested participatory instrument, as I mentioned you with Urban Agora, and then use a new model to support waste prevention in collaboration with local authorities, and then all the aspects dedicated to the development of waste management, included in strategic plan with a spatial dimension and also operative dimension. Last one, thanks a lot, just to have a look to the partners involved in the project. Thank you very much.